Okay guys, this week we're going to continue with our basics series and start with our foundation of our face, which I'm going to kind of throw in concealer and powder too, because I don't want to do two separate videos for those. I think I can just combine them all in one and it will work. So yes. All right. So first thing first is there's tons of different types of foundations. You have everything from full coverage to tinted moisturizer, and really it's just going to depend on what you're trying to achieve with foundation. If you have really good complexion, you don't have any discoloration in your face, a tinted moisturizer is going to be just fine. But if you have a lot of blemishes or a lot of discoloration on your face that you're going to try and cover up, I would probably recommend a more full coverage foundation. And again, it's probably going to change with the season. You don't stay the same color all year long. Most people don't anyways. And I find in the summer, I really like a tinted moisturizer because I find that a heavier foundation melts off or doesn't stay on the whole day. So I usually lean towards tinted moisturizers in the summer. Spring and summer maybe. No, just summer. So yeah, that's that. There's also lots of different kinds. You have like a cream or a liquid foundation. You have pan stick, which is a stick. Or you have the kind that you can get that come in like a compact. This isn't one, but it comes in a form similar to this. And you also have like mousses that you can buy. So again, it's just going to depend on what you feel comfortable using. So those are the different kinds of foundations. How to apply foundation? Again, there's several different ways, and each way is going to give you a different desired result. You can use a sponge, but I find with sponges you lose a lot of product in it, so kind of beware of that. But this will give you a more sheer, flawless looking. You can use your fingers, although if you're going to do that, I recommend washing your hands really, really good because these are like little germ factories. And then there's two types of brushes you can use. You can use a face brush. This works pretty good, although I find that I get brush strokes with this. So if you want to put on your foundation with this, I'd recommend smoothing it out with a sponge afterwards. It just makes it look a little more flawless. Or a stipling brush. And this pretty much works. You just staple on the foundation like this, and then you blend. That's how easy that is. So those are the different kind of ways to put on your foundation. When you put on foundation, the only thing that you really need to know is to blend it down and blend it into your hairline. You don't want to see a line going around your face like a mask. So don't stop putting foundation on right here. Take it down your neck and blend it in. So it's going to look seamless. We want to look seamless. And I'm sorry if it sounds like I'm out of breath. I have bronchitis. I'm trying to get over it. So I might sound a little sickly, but that's the reason why. So I think that's about all that I have information for on foundation. Another thing is whether or not you put it on before or after you do your eye makeup, and really it just depends on what kind of eye makeup you're doing. I find if I use really bright colors or really like heavy colors like blacks or dark browns, I tend to put my foundation on afterwards just because of all that fallout. Kind of makes it an easier cleanup. So that's my tip for that. Okay, so moving on to powders. Again, powders can come in different, colors. Obviously have to match different finishes. You can do matte. There's matte powders. There's powders that leave like a little bit of shine or a little bit of sheen. So again, whatever preference you have. And they also come in cake form. So it's like a solid piece of powder that you use a brush for, or loose powder. Loose powder is pretty messy, but some people prefer it. And there's also translucent powders and rice powders, which I recommend for people that don't want to match their skin tone because it just goes on sheer, but it mattifies the face. So that's kind of helpful. You can use like a sponge type thing. It's not exactly like this. It's more porous, I guess you would say. Or you can use a brush. And I like the shorter bristled as opposed to the longer bristled, more fan out, because I feel like I have more control with this. And I generally pat on my powder so that I seal in the makeup. I don't just, you know, brush it on, because I feel like that just distributes it everywhere and it flies off in the air and you actually lose more product that way than getting it on your face. So those are those tips for that. And again, with the powder, blend it down your neck, because sometimes your powder changes the color of your foundation. Might make it a little darker, it might make it a little lighter, so you want to put it everywhere that you put foundation. And in the hairline too. Not in your hairline, but blend it. You know what I mean. Okay, last thing is concealer. Not everybody needs a concealer, but some people like to have one. For concealers, you can use your finger or you can use your brush. Again, if you're going to use your finger, please make sure it's clean, because you're touching something that's maybe an open pimple or something like that, and you don't want to get any more infection or any more dirt or debris in it. So make sure, man, I am shedding like a parrot. Okay. So make sure that your hands are really clean. There's little concealer brushes. I don't like these as much. I really like using my finger because I feel like I really get the product in there. Or again, you can use sponges. Whereas brushes, I feel like I have to just work more with the product with it. And if you are going to use your finger to put on your concealer, blend it out with a sponge. So blend, blend, blend. Yeah, and again with concealers, find your right color. I usually recommend a shade lighter than your natural skin tone, because it's going to naturally highlight, if you put it under your eyes, it's going to naturally highlight that area. Or any other place that you want to highlight, it's going to naturally do that with a concealer that's just a scotch lighter. With concealer, you can put it on before you put on your foundation or after, but you do want to put it on before you put on your powder. I personally put my concealer on before I put on my foundation, because then I feel like the foundation just evens everything out. Where I put my concealer is still a little bit lighter, but it's going to even out all of it and make it all kind of seamlessly go together. If that makes sense. I'm making a lot of hand movements. So, I think that's it for this video on makeup basics for foundation, powder, and concealer. Next week, we'll do another video and we'll move on to something else. We'll probably do eyebrows, I think, next week. So, look for that video next week, and I will see all you lovely, wonderful people later. Peace.